As a public speaking teacher, one of the things that I think about really often is what are the key components that make a masterful communicator? One of the components that I talk about in my workshop is the connection between mind and instrument. And when I say instrument, I don't just mean your mouth, I mean your entire body. Facial expressions, hand gestures, body movements, the whole lot. So the connection between mind and instrument, that's one very important component. The reason why the strong connection between mind and instrument is so critical and important is because as you develop the strength of that connection, you're able then to articulate with clarity every single time you communicate to another human being. And what happens most of the time is people who don't develop a strong connection between their mind and their instrument, when they go to portray a thought or an idea, what happens is a lot of their ideas and their thoughts actually get lost in translation. I know this is overkill, but that's the reason why it's so important to strengthen the connection between mind and instrument. The question then is, how do we strengthen that connection? The answer to this comes in two parts. Part one, you must deliberately practice and try to improve your communication skills. A lot of people tend to think, if I just want to improve the way I speak, I should just speak more often. But that's not truly the case. You can speak often, you can speak more every day. However, think about the last time you spoke to maybe your parents, maybe you spoke to your children, your partner, some of your work colleagues. Were you deliberately communicating? Were you deliberately practicing your communication skills, or were you just doing it unconsciously? That unconscious communication doesn't count towards deliberate practice. The second way to improve the connection between mind and instrument. And the second method is every time you practice, make sure you practice out loud. One of the biggest and most common mistakes people make when they're preparing for a speech is they'll write out their speech and then they practice internally, meaning they read out their speech in their head. They don't even speak it out loud. And that's it. It may seem simple, but it's not easy. If you engage more consistently, more frequently in deliberate practice, and also when you practice, if you practice out loud, what you're doing is you're strengthening the connection between mind and instrument. For so many people, one of the key reasons why they're not able to build deeper relationships with others, they're able to build strong relationships with their clients or their family members, simply comes down to them not being able to articulate clearly what they feel and think inside. Just imagine for a second, if you had a strong connection between mind and instrument, anytime any thought or feeling comes into your brain, you're able to then immediately then articulate it with complete clarity. Do you have any idea how powerful this is? What this does is it allows you to amplify at all times the best parts of who you are. Being able to use this instrument masterfully is an incredibly powerful competitive advantage in today's world. When everyone's beginning to focus all of their time using these devices and communicating primarily through these devices, it only makes you being able to use your instrument that much more powerful. At the end of the day, we're all human. And as human beings, we all starve connection. And connection is established not through this instrument, but connection is established through this instrument.